Today's news highlights 20251016. Date October 16, 2025. Republic of China October 16, 114. Time cutoff point, 1500 hours on the same day. Source, Internet, major news media and channels, official accounts, app data. The channel content is only concise news content and does not have any perception or emotion. News highlights 60-year-old legislator Gao Jinsume recently sang on stage at the Double 10th National Day Gala, stunning the audience with her frozen appearance. After suffering from cancer, she adjusted her work and rest, quit smoking and alcohol, and maintained exercise habits, including running, yoga, and heavy training, to maintain a healthy body. Experts pointed out that regular exercise not only fights aging, prevents dementia, and lowers blood sugar, but also strengthens muscles, bones and immunity, and even reduces the risk of cancer recurrence. News highlights Taiwan's colorectal cancer patients are getting younger, with about 1.7 new cases every year, and some are diagnosed in their 20s. Experts pointed out that heavy oil, heavy salt, and high-temperature cooking, processing pickled foods such as tofu, sausages, and ham are high in sodium and nitrites, which can increase the risk of cancer. Naturally fermented foods such as miso and natto have many probiotics, but they still need to be in moderation. Doctors remind that if there is alternating constipation and diarrhea, bloody bowel movements, or fatigue, you should be examined as soon as possible. News highlights many people mistakenly believe that sugar-free whole grain flour or salty breakfast will not raise blood sugar, but doctors point out that these are still essentially starch, and eating alone can still easily cause blood sugar to soar. The key to blood sugar control lies in the type and combination of foods. Brewing whole grain flour can add high-fiber ingredients and protein, and egg pancakes can add vegetables to increase dietary fiber. Choosing whole oatmeal instead of instant oatmeal can also reduce the rate of glycemic rise and avoid drastic fluctuations in blood sugar. News highlights the Epoch Times Taiwan newspaper received a threatening letter on the 15th, threatening to plant a bomb. Experts pointed out that this is a common intimidation tactic used by the CCP, which is intended to create a chilling effect and weaken confidence in a democratic society. The Epoch Times has long exposed the truth about the CCP and is regarded as its main target of cognitive warfare. Scholars call for strengthening the rule of law and mental defense, establishing a prevention system, and maintaining information and democratic security. News highlights Chinese actor Yu Hao fell to his death from a building in September, and the official quickly blocked the news, causing doubts and public outrage from the outside world. The incident set off a wave of 3 withdrawals: withdrawal from the party, withdrawal from the group, and withdrawal from the team, of Chinese and overseas Chinese, and the people expressed that they were no longer with the CCP. More than 40 people have participated in the global petition to seek justice for Yu Hao, and the Taiwanese media has also reported intensively on the case. The analysis pointed out that the incident reflects the awakening of the Chinese people's hearts, and the CCP's prestige and rule are facing signs of collapse. News highlights Japan's Komeito Party announced its withdrawal from its 26-year ruling alliance with the Liberal Democratic Party, shaking the political arena. Liberal Democratic Party President Sani Takaichi immediately reached a policy agreement with the Japan Restoration Society, and is expected to receive his support as Prime Minister. If the cooperation goes well, Takaichi will become Japan's first female prime minister and may form a new coalition government. Analysts pointed out that Takaichi will gain international trust by continuing Abe's diplomatic line, strengthening the Japan-US alliance and supporting Taiwan. This move symbolizes a new era in Japanese politics and has a profound impact on the situation in the Asia-Pacific region. News highlights residents of the Greek island of Ikaria are known for their longevity and virtually no dementia, with an average life expectancy of about 8 years longer than Americans. Experts point out that the secret is to strictly adhere to the Mediterranean diet and drink herbal tea and coffee regularly. Icelanders love to drink homemade oregano, sage, rosemary tea, and rooibos tea, which have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory and blood pressure lowering effects. Moderate coffee can help memory and delay dementia. In addition, they value socializing, live a slow pace, and often walk and climb mountains, naturally maintaining health and longevity. News highlights the 3 highs are high blood pressure, high blood lipids, and high blood sugar, which are common chronic diseases in modern people and must be controlled through diet and lifestyle habits. Onions are rich in sulfides, which can reduce blood lipids, cholesterol, and blood viscosity, help prevent arteriosclerosis and cardiovascular disease, and have anti-inflammatory, immune-enhancing, and anti-cancer effects. To reduce the spiciness, you can try dishes such as cold onions, onion broth, or 5-element onions, which are both nutritious and delicious, and are ideal ingredients for preventing and combating the 3 highs. News highlights a research team from Osaka Public University in Japan has found that the Chinese herb jujube kernels have the potential to improve dementia. Studies have shown that feeding jujube kernel extract or powder to model mice can restore their cognitive and motor functions and inhibit cellular aging. Jujube kernels are commonly used medicinal materials in traditional Chinese medicine, which have the effects of nourishing the heart and calming the nerves, nourishing the liver and kidneys, and protecting the cardiovascular system. Experts pointed out that this discovery can help develop healthcare products to prevent dementia, but it still needs to be clinically verified and used according to medical advice. News highlights Nanshan Life and ITRI released the 2025 Sustainable Health White Paper, pointing out that Taiwanese people are in the era of longevity, but their health and financial preparation are insufficient. The survey shows that 50% of Chinese people suffer from insomnia, 19% hardly exercise, and the younger generation often eats fried and microwaved foods, with high intake of microplastics. The mature generation exercises more frequently and persistently, but their dental health is worrying. Dementia has become the second biggest concern among Chinese people, and early improvement of 14 risk factors can reduce the risk by 45%. Experts recommend taking into account stable financial flow and dementia protection through healthy living, early screening, and improved care and long-term care planning. News highlights the United States has promoted the 5-to-5 policy of chip production capacity, shaking the security assumption of the silicon shield that Taiwan has long relied on. Taiwan needs to enhance its institutional resilience and bargaining chips, retain its technological core, and ensure its independent security and international influence through regional cooperation and soft and hard defense. News highlights generative AI is rapidly reshaping the office ecosystem, affecting everything from programming to marketing management. The younger generation has the advantages of AI native, while senior executives are facing transformation pressure. Experts pointed out that the introduction of AI is like the wave of digitalization back then, and if companies resist change, they will eventually be eliminated. Only by leading by example and actively applying AI can supervisors lead the organization to continue to evolve in the new era. News highlights Taipei Dome Showtime Cinema will be put into trial operation on October 17 and officially opened on October 28, covering an area of more than 3,000 square meters, 14 halls and 1,750 seats, integrating Ultra 4DX, ScreenX, Dolby Vision and Atmos 3 immersive specifications, and the world's first Remi Chair Cinema Hall. The whole hall is tuned by Harman Audio and Architectural Acoustics. A one-day limited half-price discount will be launched before the opening on October 27. News highlights Apple launched new MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, and second-generation Vision Pro equipped with M5 chip on the 15th, with significant performance improvements. MacBook Pro starts at $1,599 in the United States, iPad Pro starts at $999, and Vision Pro enhances AR and AI functions and improves ergonomics. The United States and Japan opened pre-orders, and Apple's stock price rose 1.5% in early trading. News highlights Shenzhen, 2105, has accelerated its layout in the mainland electric vehicle market, and the Kunshan Industry 4.0 lights-off smart factory has supplied Xiaopeng, Ideal, NIO, and Huawei, and is actively striving for Xiaomi tires. The plant has become a new engine for operations by having manpower and improving yield through automation. Shenzhen also plans to export the smart factory model to Europe and the United States to create a global supply layout and competitive advantage. News highlights ASML, a global leader in semiconductor development equipment, announced better-than-expected financial results for the last quarter, with order growth showing that AI investment drives demand, especially EUV equipment orders hitting a 3-year high. TSMC is the largest customer, expecting sales growth of about 15% this year, gross profit margin of 52%, and optimistic that revenue will remain flat in 2026, and revenue is expected to double to €4,600 billion by 2030 in the long term. News highlights according to the latest Mercer CFA Global Pension Index report, the Netherlands ranks first, and Singapore jumped to the highest A-level ranks for the first time. Taiwan is still in the C class, ranking 45th, behind China, Japan, and South Korea. The report recommends that Taiwan improve basic protection, pension receipt methods, and the labor force participation rate for the elderly to improve the evaluation of the retirement system. News highlights South Korean girl group Blackpink returned to Kaohsiung to start the Deadline World Tour after 2 years, and set a new Spotify record of 300 million listens and 240 million MVS with their new song Jump. The 4 members reunited after establishing their own portals, and their popularity has not diminished. The upgrade of their tour costumes caused controversy, but the gold absorption was still strong, with a total of 33 shows in 16 cities around the world, and BP once again swept the world. News highlights Tropical Disturbance 96W continues to develop, and Typhoon number 24 Fengshen may be generated within 2 days at the earliest. The latest forecast shows that its path is slightly southerly repaired, and the probability of landing in the Philippines is high, which directly affects the probability of Taiwan decreasing. However, due to the southward movement of the northeast monsoon, it will have a CO effect with the typhoon's peripheral circulation, and there may be heavy rainfall in the northern and eastern regions, so the public needs to be vigilant to prevent heavy rain. News highlights after J-Jo ended his carnival tour, he suddenly posted on the community yesterday looking for his magician friend Cai's, with a tone that seemed to be a joke but a little dissatisfied, causing heated discussions. Cai then responded that he would temporarily suspend social media, while J-Jo deleted the post and unfollowed the other party. The two used to have a close relationship, but now their interaction has suddenly changed, making the outside world speculate whether there is a rift in their friendship. News highlights NVIDIA originally planned to set up its Taiwan headquarters at the T-17 and T-18 bases of Beijing, but negotiations with the landlord Shinkong Life Insurance were stuck. Today, Zhenshao suddenly set up a scaffolding at the base to hold a groundbreaking ceremony, without inviting foreign guests and without declaring, suspected of fake construction. The North City government said that it had not yet received the report to start construction, and lawmakers and netizens criticized the absurdity of the move and questioned that Zhenshao was only a bargaining chip to strengthen negotiations. News highlights a 34-year-old female employee surnamed Sun, a flight attendant of EVA Air, passed away after returning to China due to physical discomfort, but her family received a message from the company asking for a leave certificate, and she was so angry that she returned the death certificate. EVA Air said that this was a business negligence and has deeply reviewed and apologized to the family, which has raised questions about the company's humane management and employee rights. News highlights the county government held a typhoon prevention meeting yesterday to discuss the evacuation of residents, but the county magistrate Su Jinwei was absent, causing Congressman Hu Renshun to criticize not caring about the people. The central, local and village heads all attended, and the focus of the meeting was on evacuation and disaster prevention and response, and County Magistrate Su's hidden attitude caused controversy. News highlights Taipei City Councilor Ying Xiaoyi was detained for more than a year for being involved in the Jinghua City corruption case, and after posting bail, she returned to question Mayor Zhang Wannan and called for the rectification of the Metropolitan Development Bureau. The Beijing prosecutor's office believes that she violated the bail restrictions and requested the court to re-examine the necessity of detention, and will hold an interrogation today. Ying Xiaoyi's eldest daughter, Ying Jiayu, expressed her feelings in the community, believing that her mother was only performing her duties as a counselor, and hoped that the judge would uphold justice in the trial. News highlights Lee Tuk, a member of the Korean group Super Junior, was shortlisted for the Reality Program Award and Host Award at the 60th Golden Bell Awards for his participation in the Taiwanese program Chef's Crash Landing, Hakka Kitchen, becoming the first Korean artist to be shortlisted for the Golden Bell. He won the championship with more than 23 votes in the unofficial popularity poll, thanking Taiwanese fans for their enthusiastic support, and said that if time permits, he will personally attend the award ceremony in Taiwan. News highlights Yang Se-chan, a member of the South Korean variety show Running Man, revealed in the program the problem of the house tower that he suffered from thyroid cancer 12 years ago and still needs to take daily medication to control it. He said that he was unexpectedly diagnosed during a health checkup that year, but fortunately, he was accompanied by a friend in a humorous way, which made him regain the courage to fight cancer. Liang Shikan reminded that a lot of fatigue is a warning sign for the body, and called for attention to health. News highlights mainland actor Yu Hao fell to his death on September 11, officially calling it a drinking accident, but autopsy rumors, silences and leaked suspected torture videos have triggered many conspiracy theories, and there is still no conclusive evidence. News highlights singer Jo Hui has been busy producing a new album recently, but her credit card has been stolen twice. She revealed that because people did not receive immediate notification overseas, they only discovered nearly 20 suspicious transactions after returning to Taiwan, resulting in a loss of about 8,000 yuan. After that, nearly 2,000 yuan was stolen twice, but fortunately, the bank intercepted and dealt with it immediately, and Jo Hui reminded the public to be vigilant against fraud. News highlights the well-known numerologist Buletin Yang passed away peacefully in his sleep on October 14, and his life is unknown, and the farewell ceremony has been held in a low-key manner, attended only by relatives and friends. His wife said that he walked peacefully and pain-free. Buletin Yang once often appeared on Kangzi Is Coming to share numerology views, bringing good luck to many artists to change their names, and is a well-known numerology teacher in the entertainment industry. News highlights the mainland actor Yu Hazy's fall to his death in September was said as an accident, but the cause of death was unsolved, and the incident once again led to Jia Ren Liang, who passed away in 2016. Today, 8 years after his death, coincides with Jia Ren Liang's 38th birthday, and his parents posted a message of condolences and decorated pink to commemorate their beloved son, thanking fans for their unchanging longing and support over the years. News highlights Taiwanese singer-songwriter Huang Xiaomei passed away from NK/T-cell lymphoma at the age of 34. She became popular with the Japanese song Let's See You in Taiwan and the theme song of the Lantern Festival Sea and Light, and loved Taiwan and bravely fought cancer during her lifetime. Doctors remind that if you have long-term nasal congestion, nosebleeds, fever, or weight loss, you should get checked as soon as possible to prevent delays in treatment. News highlights the Soha Fortune column pointed out that the zodiac dragon, horse, and monkey are naturally blessed and wealthy. Dragons have a strong aura and good luck for nobles, and can turn danger into safety. Horses are enthusiastic and courageous, and have the courage to seize opportunities to get rich. Monkeys are smart, flexible, have good financial management, and can accumulate stable wealth. All three are good lucky zodiac signs favored by fate. News highlights although the USAAV-7 amphibious assault vehicle has been retired, it is still used by 13 countries, including Taiwan. The amphibious force of the National Army uses AAV-7 as the main force, with drone reconnaissance and CRRC assault boats to carry out beach landing training. During the exercise, the officers and soldiers had a clear division of labor and a tight rhythm, and it only took about 3 minutes to infiltrate from the beach to the landing operation, demonstrating strong coordinated operations and rapid response capabilities. News highlights: the special budget for resilience is expected to be passed on the 17th, and Finance Minister Zhuang Qiun said that if it is successfully passed, after the President's announcement next week, the Ministry of Finance will explain the distribution method and schedule. News highlights: a wanted criminal surnamed Chu sexually assaulted a Hong Kong woman at Taipei Main Station during the National Day holiday, and the incident lasted for more than 10 minutes, attracting attention. The Railway Police Department clarified that Chu suspected that Chu, the victim, and his friends had known and drank as early as that morning, and did not commit the crime randomly. The police will strengthen their duties at the station to increase the rate of police encounters and ensure the safety of passengers. News highlights: after the flood in Matayangzi, Guangfu Township, Hualien, the whole Taiwan hydropower superman spontaneously formed a group to repair temporary hydropower for free, but the county magistrate Su Jinwei's post said that the volunteer group was disbanded and attached a list of manufacturers, which caused Superman's dissatisfaction and questioned that the post would make the outside world mistakenly think that the county government was leading. The volunteers clarified that they spontaneously cooperated to help the victims restore their lives, and the county government said that it is easy to harvest the volunteers' efforts, and there is still repair work to be completed in the future. News highlights: in the past 6 months, the semiconductor testing group of Taiwan stocks has strengthened, and the stock prices of the three heroes of probe cards Guangxi, Jinke, and Yingwei have all risen, with an increase of more than 130–160%. Probe cards are the core components of wafer testing, which can improve yield and reduce costs, and the market size is growing rapidly with the increase in demand for AI chips and high-density packaging. Taiwanese manufacturers occupy a key position in the global market, and the startup Hanmin test system has also cut into thin film technology, and future competition will focus on precision, thermal stability, and automated processes. News highlights: artificial intelligence startup Anthropic launched the small model Claude Haiku 4.5, which reduces the main cost by 1/3 and more than triples the speed, while still maintaining high code generation capabilities, suitable for chat assistance, customer service, and pair programming. Haiku 4.5 is close to GPT in benchmark testing 5 AI safety level 2 Claude Code API and cloud platform usage. Anthropic expects revenue to reach $90 billion in 2025 and $260 billion in 2026, with enterprise adoption as the main driving force. News highlights: China's export controls on rare earths have attracted global attention, but Pegatron chairman Tong Zixian pointed out that the impact on Taiwan's semiconductors is very indirect, because the use of chips is very small, and the real risk lies in the hindrance of global cooperation. He warned that frequent controls could drag down economic growth, and pointed out that although rare earths are valuable but not rare, the United States still has production capacity, and competition between countries may prompt the remining of rare earths. News highlights: rumors of the cleaning of photovoltaic panels at Tainan's Wushantou Reservoir caused controversy, and DPP legislator Chen Tingfei once asked the Ministry of Economic Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture to disclose monitoring data, but some supporters criticized it for cooperating with Blue and White. President and party chairman Lai Ching-te reminded her by name at the standing committee that her speech must be accurate. Chen Tingfei responded to the question by focusing on the photovoltaic panels of the reservoir, and pointed out that the media took it out of context, and the Ministry of Economic Affairs has repeatedly clarified false rumors. News highlights: the dammed lake of Matayan Creek in Hualien overflowed on September 23, severely damaging Guangfu Township, triggering discussions about whether County Magistrate Su Jinwei was in China on the day of the disaster. The alibi picture spoofed by Detective Conan circulated on the internet, causing heated discussions. Lawyer Lin Heekan clarified that Su Jinwei had returned to Taiwan on the evening of the 22nd, and was indeed in China when the disaster occurred, and the post also attracted humorous comments from netizens to discuss. News highlights: Li Mengxian, a forecaster at the Central Meteorological Administration, pointed out that the quasi-typhoon Fengshen may intensify into a tropical depression after tonight, and may become a mild typhoon after tomorrow, and approach the east of Luzon Island in the Philippines on the 18th. Before Saturday, the high temperature in Taiwan will be high, reaching more than 36 degrees in the northern, central, and southern mountainous areas. From the 18th, the northeast monsoon strengthened, and the rainfall was obvious, with showers and local heavy rain in the northern and eastern halves, and heavy rain in the southeast and central and southern mountainous areas. News highlights: the Taiwan men's football team lost 1-6 at home to Thailand in the fourth game of the 2027 Asian Cup qualifiers and was eliminated early. The futsal national team also had visa problems when they went to Saudi Arabia to compete, and they did not board the plane until before takeoff. News highlights: the ruling and opposition caucuses of the Legislative Yuan reached a consensus on the 14th that the third reading of the Resilience Special Budget containing yuan in general cash will be completed this Friday, 17th, and no reconsideration will be proposed. According to regulations, the special budget can be distributed within 1 month after the announcement, and can be received in mid-November at the earliest. The legislator pointed out that the preliminary operation will be launched simultaneously, and it may be credited as soon as the end of October. The political yuan reminds the public to be aware of fraud and will not ask for personal information or transfer through text messages, phone calls, or unofficial websites. News highlights: South Korean girl group Blackpink will sing at the Kaohsiung National Stadium on the 18th and 19th, and the Kaohsiung city government will light up pink lights from 17:30 to 22:30 every day to greet the 6 landmarks: Love River, Dagong Bridge, Kaohsiung Port Transportation Center, Kaohsiung Pop Music Center, Kaohsiung Station, and Formosa MRT Station, from the 13th, triggering a community boom. Mayor Chen Kamai, legislator Lai Rulong, former President Tsai Ing-wen and President Lai Ching-te also participated one after another, setting off discussions on changing hair color and fashion. News highlights: the Major League Baseball Dodgers won all the first 2 games of the National League Championship game, leading the Brewers 2-0, and will return to their home G3 on the 17th to win 3 consecutive draws. The team's Japanese aces Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Yoshiki Sasaki performed well in the playoffs, and the home team also launched limited Japanese fried noodles and Korean spicy tteokbokki, allowing fans to enjoy Asian cuisine while watching the game and feel the passionate atmosphere of the playoffs. News highlights: the re-election of the chairman of the Kuomintang will be held on the 18th, and there are suspicions of China-mediated elections. It was revealed that Zhang Luan had persuaded Terry Gou to run for president in 2023, helping to sort out the reasons for his candidacy and criticizing Hou Yuyi and Kei Wen's. Kuomintang chairman Zhu Liluan refuted the hype and emphasized that party members should assist in nominating comrades for election, and violators will be punished according to party discipline. News highlights: the temperature in Taiwan today is hot, 33 to 36 degrees during the day, and there will be brief thunderstorms in the mountains in the afternoon. From Saturday, the northeast monsoon will move south, the temperature will drop by more than 10 degrees, and the central and northern parts will be affected by the interaction between tropical disturbances and the northeast monsoon, and there may be heavy rain and strong winds and waves. News highlights: Chinese actor Yu Hao fell to his death on the 11th of last month, and his mentor Sun Durong will hold a soul summoning puja at the Bang Kiao Crescent Moon Hall in New Taipei City on October 17. Originally planned to release 120 fish-shaped balloons to symbolize the ascension of the soul, but due to environmental considerations, it was changed to be brought back by fans themselves, and the event lasted about 5 hours, and rituals such as chanting scriptures and praying for blessings were carried out. News highlights: a sexual harassment incident occurred at Nanjing Sanmin MRT station in Songshan District, Taipei, on the 14th. A 59-year-old man surnamed Su was in a trance after smoking superglue, exposed on the street and grabbed a woman's wrist. Su Nan was transferred to the Beijing Procuratorate for investigation on charges of forced indecency and public indecency, and after the interrogation, the Northern People's Court ruled to return him. News highlights: South Korean singer Park Yoo-cheon's ex-fiancé Wang Ha-na has been imprisoned many times for drug involvement, and her whereabouts are unknown after fleeing to Cambodia in 2023, and she is wanted by Interpol. It is rumored that she has close contacts with local high-level officials, involved in media sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and money laundering, but it has not been confirmed. Cambodia's security and illegal activities are frequent, and South Korea has designated Phnom Penh as a special tourist warning area. News highlights: the U.S. Department of Justice sued Chen Ji, chairman of Prince Group, accusing him of operating a fraudulent park, abusing employees, and laundering money in Cambodia, and seizing about 12.7 bitcoins, about $150 billion. Chen Ji has lived in and been in and out of Taiwan at least 10 times, and the Taiwanese woman and 9 companies involved are also on the U.S. sanctions list. News highlights: a sexual assault case occurred during the National Day holiday at Taipei Main Station, and a wanted criminal surnamed Chu committed murder against a Hong Kong woman for 10 minutes, causing social outrage. The Railway Police Bureau clarified that the case was not a random crime, and the 2 sides had gathered in the lobby of the North Railway that morning. News highlights: Chinese artist Cai Qiaoqiang and outdoor brand Arc'teryx launched a dragon fireworks show in the Tibetan Himalayas, causing controversy over environmental damage. China's official investigation results pointed out that Psy Studio and Archaeopteryx were responsible for ecological damage compensation and restoration, and several local officials were also dismissed, involving violations of plateau ecological protection and grassland regulations. News highlights: Britain and the United States have jointly sanctioned Cambodia-based transnational criminal groups, and its leader, Chen Ji, has lived in Taiwan and has been in and out of Taiwan at least 10 times. The U.S. sanctions list involves nearly 150 items, including 3 Taiwanese and 9 Taiwanese companies. The United Kingdom sanctioned 6 individuals and 6 entities, but confirmed that Chen Ji was not a British national. News highlights: Los Angeles County, California, USA, declared a state of emergency due to a large-scale raid by the Federal Immigration Department, saying the raid caused community fear and economic impact, and thousands of families were in trouble. The county government will receive support from the state government and charities to provide rent, food, and legal assistance. The raid affected both legal and undocumented residents, sparking protests and controversy. News highlights: it is rumored that the main reason is that the intimate behavior of the two on the street was photographed 5 years ago, which caused dissatisfaction among the man's elders and became the reason why she could not be promoted to the daughter-in-law of a wealthy family. News highlights: 64-year-old Hong Kong star Lin Zhongxian used to become popular with Tang Taizong Li Shimin. His handsomeness fascinated many fans, and he faded out of the entertainment industry and encountered a financial crisis after moving to the business world. News highlights: American cardiologist Buhoriji reminded that breakfast should avoid processed cereals, cold cuts of ham, soda energy drinks, fried fast food, white bread, margarine, highly processed plant-based meat, high-sodium canned soup and flavored coffee creamer to avoid arteriosclerosis and inflammation. News highlights: Taipei main station shocked the sexual assault case, and the 59-year-old wanted criminal Chu Shengming took advantage of the drunkenness of a Hong Kong female tourist to pull him to the wall in the lobby and sexually assaulted him for about 10 minutes. The railway police confirmed that the two had known each other for a short time, emphasizing that the crime was not a random crime, and that patrols and security measures in the station area had been strengthened afterwards, and the victim woman completed the transcript after returning to Hong Kong. News highlights: iron deficiency may cause symptoms such as dizziness, fatigue, and paleness, especially women, pregnant and lactating people, and people who love to drink coffee and tea are more prone to iron deficiency. Iron is essential for blood production, oxygen transport, and energy metabolism. Iron supplementation should choose divalent iron with high absorption rate, especially ferrous glycinate is resistant to gastric acid and has a low gastrointestinal burden. It is recommended to take it after meals, avoid calcium and high-fiber foods, and combine it with vitamin C to improve absorption, with a daily intake of 10 mg for adult men and 15 mg for women, not exceeding 45 mg. When purchasing iron, you should pay attention to the absorption type, moderate dosage, vitamin compound combination, and safety certification. News highlights: Wang Zemin, once a representative of the Five Ladies of National Taiwan University and Otaku Gods, has now faded out of the entertainment industry, and has been in a stable relationship with Wan Hai Group's 100 billion boyfriend for 5 years. She claimed to be 32 years old at a dinner party a few days ago, but she is actually 38 years old, but she is still loved for her well-maintained and sweet temperament. Previously, street intimate photos were considered rude, which also became the reason why it was difficult for her to marry into a wealthy family smoothly. News highlights: Apple launched new products equipped with the M5 chip, including the 14-inch MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, and Apple Vision Pro, which are priced at 2,000 yuan cheaper than the M4 version. M5 is built on a 3nm process, which improves GPU performance by 4 times, AI computing accelerates by 3.5 to 5.6 times, and memory bandwidth increases by nearly 30%. The 14-inch MacBook Pro offers 24-hour battery life, a nano-textured liquid Retina XDR display and multiple ports. iPad Pro supports Wi-Fi 7 and C1X mobile data. Vision Pro improves display clarity and a screen refresh rate of 120 Hz, making it more comfortable and smooth to use. News highlights: in response to the federal immigration raid, Los Angeles County declared a local state of emergency, pointing out that the action caused fear and economic impact in the community, and many families lost their source of income and even faced food shortages, psychological stress, and homelessness. The county government will use state, city, and philanthropic resources to provide rent assistance, legal services, and food assistance, as well as strengthen community safety in response to the widespread impact of ICE enforcement. News highlights: Guo Biding stayed in Taipei for a long time to take care of her father, and his health condition attracted attention from the outside world. Xiang Tai praised Guo Biding for filial piety and kindness in the video, while Guo's father publicly stated his health condition, and there is no news of serious illness yet. News highlights: trade tensions between China and the United States are heating up. China has strengthened export controls on rare earths, and the United States has threatened to impose 100% tariffs. Wang Luzhong, a professor in the United States, pointed out that the key to the trade war lies in resource integration and cooperation with allies. News highlights: Finance Minister Zhuang Qiun said that if the third reading of the general cash is passed tomorrow, it will start to be registered after the presidential announcement, and it is expected to take 5 working days to complete the operation, and it is expected to be distributed at the end of October at the earliest. News highlights: the 37-year-old actor Yu Hazy fell to his death from a building after drinking on September 11, and the official tone was set as an accident, but videos suspected of homicide, abuse, and torture circulated on the internet, and the accusations included dog abuse and violent clips. At present, most of them are unverified rumors and are still waiting for official investigation to clarify. News highlights: tropical disturbance 96W, Quasi-Fengshan Typhoon, has an intensifying westward trend and is expected to enter the South China Sea through northern Luzon. Affected by the northeast monsoon, there may be heavy rain in the north and east from Sunday to next Tuesday. The temperature is still high over the weekend, with local thunderstorms in the mountains in the afternoon, and strong coastal winds and waves. News highlights Soho.com pointed out that there are 3 zodiac signs that are born with blessings and wealth. Dragons are wise and decisive, have smooth career and financial luck, and are often helped by nobles. Horses are enthusiastic and action-oriented, have the courage to challenge and seize opportunities to get rich. Monkeys are smart and flexible, good at financial management and investment, have stable financial luck and live a long and healthy life in their old age. News highlights TSMC, 2330, was pushed up by AI demand and foreign investment, and its stock price soared to 1,490 yuan on Thursday, driving Taiwan stocks to a new high of 27,600 points. Experts pointed out that the AI industry drives the long-term growth of semiconductors and supply chains. TSMC's fundamentals are stable, and although there are short-term fluctuations, long-term investments can still be held. News highlights senior analyst Sun Qinglong screened out 5 invisible champions with gross profit margins surpassing TSMC among more than 1,800 companies in Taiwan stocks: Chuanhu, Microprogram, Qunyi, Chroma and Yifeng. Among them, he is optimistic about PCB equipment leader Qunyi, 6,664. EPS has continued to grow in the past 4 quarters, with a gross profit margin of 67.9% and a price-to-earnings ratio of 18.4 times, and has invested in a long-term layout, targeting 2027 and 2028, emphasizing that patient holding and keeping the price-to-earnings ratio low are the keys to long-term investment. News highlights China has strengthened export controls on rare earths, and the United States has threatened to impose tariffs on Chinese goods. 100% tariffs. The US-China trade war is heating up again. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent called China's rare earth export controls economic coercion and emphasized the need for the United States to be self-sufficient and establish strategic reserves. Market risk aversion has risen, with gold breaking through $4,220 per ounce and silver exceeding $53. The Fed is expected to cut interest rates again at the end of October. News highlights Formosa Plastics is deploying all-round power supply to meet the computing power needs of AI and data centers. Extending from traditional petrochemical to nuclear, wind, solar and liquefied natural gas, the goal is to become a power provider for data centers and new nuclear power. This trend is analogous to the rise of small U.S. nuclear power companies Oklo and Nuscale, indicating that the power demand behind the computing power era will become a new investment hotspot. News highlights according to TrendForce's latest survey, the wafer foundry capacity utilization rate in the second half of 2025 is better than expected, benefiting from the unimplemented U.S. semiconductor tariffs, IC factory inventory replenishment, smartphone peak season, and increased AI demand. Some wafer factories have planned to increase prices for short supply processes such as BCD and power, and the 8-inch production capacity is closer to full capacity. However, undecided tariff policies and weak demand for consumer products remain potential concerns for the market in 2026. News highlights Cathay Financial Holdings announced at the Second Asset Management Summit that it will take the lead in transferring some of Cathay Life's investment positions to Cathay Investment Trust, thereby promoting the investment trust to become the third engine of financial holdings and develop into a regional asset management platform. Cathay Pacific Investment Trust will combine AI and data analysis to upgrade its investment research system, integrate more than 300 life insurance investment talents, and provide more professional and flexible asset management services for banks, life insurance, securities channels, and domestic and foreign institutions, with the goal of driving Taiwan's asset management scale to 10 to 15 trillion yuan. News highlights American foreign investors are optimistic about Honhai, 2317, SAI unfolding mobile phone layout, and have significantly raised the target price from 263 yuan to 400 yuan, maintaining a buy rating. Chairman Liu Yanggui attended the Taiwan Week and said that AI is still in its early stages and will not bubble, and will discuss future cooperation with Huang Rongsun of NVIDIA. On the 16th, Honha's stock price rose to 222.5 yuan after opening high, leading the rise in related Hongjiajin stocks. News highlights the memory industry has entered a super cycle and is expected to peak by 2027. On the 16th, Nanya Technology, 2408, opened with a rapid daily limit, and many memory stocks such as Winbond, Transcend, and Phison rose together. The world's 3 major original manufacturers, Micron, Samsung, and Hynix, have strategically reduced production, and the spot price of DDR4 is even higher than DDR5. Li Peiying, general manager of Nanya Technology, said that customer demand is heating up, and prices and gross profit margins in the fourth quarter are still promising. AI applications drive massive storage demand, and NAND flash factories will benefit. News highlights in the first 3 quarters of this year, the number of new existing houses and pre-sale houses in northern Taiwan was only about 796.9 billion yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 32%. Builders have reduced their projects, launching only about 1,800 billion yuan in the third quarter, with an inventory of up to 17 households, and the sales rate of new projects is generally less than 10%. The number of cases in Baibeidozu generally declined, with Hsinchu and Taipei City decreasing by more than 50%. If the number of cases in the fourth quarter is to break the trillion yuan, it may be difficult to meet the target, and it is expected to hit a new low in 8 years. News highlights: Yongqing real estate statistics show that the transaction volume of TSMC residences in TSMC-related areas has generally declined this year, with Zhubei City experiencing the most severe decline, with transaction volume decreasing by nearly 70% compared to last year. In terms of housing prices, due to increased supply and insufficient living functions, housing prices in Anding district were revised down by 13.1%, while the new urban area in Shanhua district also fell by 3.7% and 2.8% respectively. News highlights: the Hong Kong-style hot pot restaurant Guo Xianzi run by the well-known live broadcaster Toys will be temporarily closed from October 27, and the official said that due to internal process adjustments and space optimization, it is expected to return with a more complete dining experience when it reopens. Since its opening, the store has been full of topics, and Toys has sincerely responded to tasting comments from netizens and the media. News highlights: a 2-month-old baby boy in Zizi, New Taipei City, was found to have lost signs of life by his mother this morning and was rushed to the hospital for rescue but still died. The police have arrived at the scene to investigate and will report to the prosecutor for an autopsy to clarify the exact cause of death. News highlights: the Korean girl group Blackpink will sing at the main venue of the Kaohsiung World Games on October 18 and 19. Since their debut in 2016, they have taken the world by storm with their members' highly recognizable style, rigid and soft style, brainwashing divine comedy, fashion influence, and community charm, setting multiple Guinness records and becoming a representative group of K-pop. News highlights: Shania Suzuki, manager of a women's bar in Ikebukuro, Tokyo, Japan, and Kazuya Tano, an employee, were arrested by the police on suspicion of forcing female employees to engage in sex trafficking and violent control. The suspect used GPS to monitor throughout the day, violently assaulted employees and strictly controlled food and property, forcibly forced about 400 women within 3 months, and was suspected of extorting about 600 yen. News highlights: the clip of DPP legislator Wang Shijian's questioning was edited into a song unpromising by Chinese netizens and became popular on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, triggering discussion. Kuomintang legislator Su Kioxin questioned whether the National Security Bureau had investigated it, pointing out that vague standards may become a tool for suppressing speech, and reminded that anti-blocking cognitive warfare should not undermine people's trust. News highlights: in the 2026 Kaohsiung mayoral election, the DPP is expected to hold a party primary election in January next year. Media person Xia Hanbing pointed out that Lin Dehua was originally leading in the polls, but recently Chu Yiying and Lai Rulong seem to be on the rise, and the DPP is facing headwinds in Kaohsiung. News highlights: a 20-year-old male student surnamed Li from Chaoyang University of Science and Technology in Taichung wanted to take a leave of absence from school to serve in the military early to reduce his family budget due to his poor family background, but because he could not collect 1.8 yuan in tuition and miscellaneous fees, he was depressed and fell to his death on the 2nd of this month. The school later stated that it would strengthen the care mechanism, and the Social Affairs Bureau also intervened to assist the family and younger brother. News highlights: the Victoria's Secret show was held in New York, and twice members Suyu, Momo, Jihyo, and Naeun were invited to perform, and they changed into sexy underwear and sang "This Is For N" strategy on stage. News highlights: People's Party chairman Huang Qiuqing was involved in the paparazzi turmoil and was questioned about being related to Li Lijuan, the head of Case International, whose wife Gao Xiang's household registration was registered in Li Lijuan's name. Huang Qiuqing denied knowing Li Lijuan and criticized DPP legislator Wang Yushuan for piecing together and infringing on personal information, and the two sides continued to fight each other. News highlights: Xie Xinjun, a former reporter of the Central News Agency, was involved in assisting Huang Qiuqing in forming a paparazzi group and part-time interviewing violations, and after resigning, he was still punished by the Internal Evaluation Committee in accordance with the Journalism Professional Convention and Work Rules. The relevant supervisors were also punished with minor offenses or reprimands for neglecting supervision and failing to perform their duties in accordance with regulations. News highlights: at about 7 a.m. today, 16th, YouTube Music and YouTube TV experienced a large-scale crash, causing users to be unable to play videos or music, causing complaints from netizens. YouTube has officially responded that the problem has been completely eliminated, and the service has now returned to normal. News highlights: on the evening of the 14th, near Nanjing Sanmen MRT station in Songshan, Taipei, a 59-year-old man attempted to sexually assault a woman in her 20s after smoking superglue. Su Nan argued that there was no intention, and the prosecution requested detention, but the North Court ruled on the 16th that he should be returned without bail, causing panic among local residents. News highlights: New Taipei City will hold a job expo on October 18 at the Sankong Sports Complex, combined with a live broadcast from the 4 cities of Jiabei and Baitao, inviting 70 manufacturers to provide more than 3,500 job vacancies, covering the catering, retail and electronics industries. There will be career lectures, resume health checkups, and women's re-employment consultations on site to assist people in job searching, job changes, and part-time jobs. News highlights the Taipei city government proposed T12 as an alternative, but T12 has more problems. There are many landlords and complex property rights, especially in the 89 lot number. 44 landlords are concentrated in the center of the base, making integration difficult. The development model of superficial rights is complex, and the handling of buildings after the lease period expires becomes a problem, if the buyout cost is as high as 287.321 billion yuan. In addition, the design of the Starship headquarters has been planned for T17 and T18, and changing to T12 requires restructuring the building and circulation, which is costly and risky, so T12 is just a spare tire. News highlights Apple released the autumn hardware update on the evening of the 15th, Taiwan time, launching MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, and Vision Pro equipped with the new M5 chip. The M5 chip enhances AI performance. MacBook Pro AI performance is up to 6 times faster than the previous generation, graphics processing is accelerated by 1.6 times, iPad Pro adds Wi-Fi 7 and N1 chips to support high-speed connections, and Vision Pro increases spatial computing and AI processing speed by 50%, and improves battery life and wearing comfort. The new product is priced similarly to the previous generation and will be available for order in Taiwan, helping Apple sprint to the year-end shopping season. News highlights Taiwan stocks today, 16th, rose sharply during the session. Rush up 27,673 points, a record high, up 397 points. Value stocks performed strongly, with TSMC rising to 1,490 yuan intraday. Honhai Jinyang surpassed 7% to 222.5 yuan, and Delta turned red to 1,025 yuan. Some AI concept stocks such as Kiong, Shuanghong, Jians and BBU concept stocks fell. Gao Hoxin of Fubon Investment Trust said that short-term shocks are mostly event factors, and AI will still be the main axis of the market in the fourth quarter, focusing on the momentum of technology stock earnings reports. News highlights the short drama version of Bending the Waist starring Yu Yuding and Wu Zais is loyal to the original work and presents a large number of passionate plots, and was removed from the shelves less than 24 hours after it was launched, causing heated discussions. The intimate scenes such as round rooms, baths, and gauze curtains in the play are too explicit, and they are also criticized for weakening the heroine's resourceful image and objectifying women. News highlights William attended a public welfare event and became a salty crispy chicken chef. He disappeared from the entertainment industry for 5 months due to the fake medical record desertion incident, and his income returned to zero. He said that if he cannot return to the fluorescent screen, he is also willing to take on family responsibilities and hopes to become a negative teaching material to remind young people. News highlights on the 15th, he complained on IG that his magician friend Cai suddenly disappeared, warning the other party that it would be over if he didn't show up again. Cai also responded on the community, admitting that he had temporarily left the social networking site and was not expected to respond to the message, causing netizens to pay attention to the interaction between the two. News highlights Shen Yulin was hospitalized in July and diagnosed with blood cancer in August, and is currently undergoing the second consolidation treatment. Her condition is stable, and she can occasionally go home to have dinner with her wife and daughter. If the treatment continues smoothly, he is expected to return to work at the end of the year, but his wife hopes to postpone it until after the Lunar New Year, and the two are still discussing, and the doctor said that a bone marrow transplant is not necessarily necessary and the recovery is good. News highlights YouTuber Gudal suffered from appendicitis in Turkey on his honeymoon return from Finland, and was urgently treated by a doctor on the plane, taken to the hospital by ambulance, and successfully discharged from the hospital 24 hours later. Although the surgery was accidental, she was surprised that the cost was only $19,000, and she needed to recuperate locally until the stitches were removed before returning to Taiwan. News highlights Taiwanese singer-songwriter Huang Xiaomei died of rare NK/T-cell lymphoma at the age of 34. The doctor reminds that if nasal congestion and nosebleeds do not improve for more than 1 month, and you are diagnosed with sinusitis, or even accompanied by fever and weight loss, you should undergo a biopsy as soon as possible to avoid delaying treatment. News highlights doctors remind that refined seed oils such as salad oil, corn oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil should be avoided in cooking, and stable oils such as olive oil, bitter tea oil, and avocado oil can reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, and insulin resistance. News highlights a 4-year-old girl in Luz who was suspected of being abused to death, and her body was left at home for 4 days. Netizens asked for help on Yahoo, and the funeral industry reported it to the police, who entered the house and found the body and launched an investigation. News highlights the Taipei District Court heard the case of K. Wen's USB financier fraud, and today, 16th, summoned Fan Yawei, a former accountant, to testify, saying that from September to October 2022, he personally handed over 500 yuan in cash to K as a donation to the People's Party in the presidential election. K did not appear in court or request to summon 13 donors, and only the prosecution summoned the donors to testify, and the case is still under trial. News highlights the Central Crime Fighting Center of the Criminal Police Department cracked a case of a group that used online gambling as a cover and the main suspect surnamed Zhang manipulated violent debt collection. The methods include brushing teeth with toilet brushes, burning ashes and water to force them to drink, and coercing family members to sign promissory notes and transfer vehicles. The Chi District Prosecutor's Office commanded the arrest of 7 suspects, and Jiang's detention was granted, and the entire case is still under investigation. News highlights: Belarusian 26-year-old model Vera went to Thailand but was lured to a fraud park in Myanmar, where she was harvested and cremated alive due to substandard performance, and the fraud group also extorted $50 from her family to redeem her ashes. The Belarusian Ministry of Foreign Affairs intervened to assist, and the family has successfully retrieved the ashes and will go to Myanmar to handle the funeral arrangements. News highlights: a case of violent forced prostitution broke out in a bar in Kabukicho, Tokyo, where 39-year-old store manager Mao Suzuki and 21-year-old employee Kazuya Tano forced a 27-year-old female employee to engage in street prostitution for 3 months, picked up more than 400 customers, and threatened the victim with violence. Tianye confessed to the crime, Suzuki denied it, and the two had been arrested by the police. News highlights: a homicide broke out at the wine bureau in Kaohsiung's Linjia district on June 3. 23-year-old Wu Nan stabbed a 26-year-old man surnamed Su with a knife because of a dispute over a 20-year-old woman surnamed Wang, causing Su Nan to be sent to the hospital for treatment with 17 stab wounds. The prosecution concluded the investigation and prosecuted Wu and Li for murder. News highlights: Shinkong Life General Manager Lin Weihun emphasized at the groundbreaking of T17 and T18 in Bishike on the 16th that the start of construction is legal and compliant, and it is by no means a provocation. He pointed out that a consensus had been reached with NVIDIA in May, and the two sides could renegotiate the cooperation plan and hope to proceed smoothly with the project under the legal framework. News highlights: the general distribution of 1 yuan will begin to be distributed in early November, and the first batch of direct account groups will be given priority, including labor insurance annuity, national pension, and old farmer allowance recipients. The Ministry of Finance stated that the cash distribution will take into account both safety and completeness, and the overall operation is expected to take 7 months. News highlights: volunteers from all over Taiwan gathered in Hualien to assist in post-disaster reconstruction, but due to the unstable weather and possible heavy rain in the coming week, volunteers reminded their peers to temporarily leave Guangfu to ensure safety. The Meteorological Bureau predicts that the northeast monsoon and the outer circulation will bring heavy rain or heavy rain from the 18th, and the rainfall in the northeast will be obvious, calling on the public and volunteers to pay attention to protection. News highlights: DPP legislator Lin Daiwa's sister Lin Daijin was additionally prosecuted by the Xiong Prosecutor's Office for acting as a head assistant, triggering a strong backlash from Lin Daiwa. She emphasized that Lin Daijin's more than 20 years as an assistant has received 13 yuan in just 1 month, handled 1,875 election cases, questioned the prosecution's failure to call witnesses, criticized judicial abuse of power, and accused the timing of the prosecution of coincidences, which is suspected to be related to the primary election arrangement. News highlights: a clash broke out a few days ago at another village dumpling shop on Linsen North Road, Taipei, where a drunken man kicked the store and smashed the signboard, and the boss Lai Nan chased after him. Lai Nan was once the owner of Bamboo Union, who was imprisoned for a shooting case before opening the store at the age of 35 and absconded in Shanghai for 12 years, and was released on parole after returning to Taiwan in 2018 to surrender. News highlights: meteorological expert Wu Durong pointed out that from next Sunday to next Wednesday, 19th to 22nd, the northern and eastern half will be affected by the peripheral circulation of quasi-typhoon Fengshen and the combined effect of the northeast monsoon. The temperature in North Taiwan is as high as 37 to 38 degrees on weekends, requiring sun protection and heat stroke. News highlights: Minister of Health and Welfare Shi Chongliang emphasized that according to the Sexual Assault Crime Prevention Act, victim information must not be disclosed, disseminated, or put on the shelves in any way, and violators can be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison. The Ministry of Health and Welfare also called on the public not to download and share sexual images, and illegal platforms will also be severely fined or even closed in accordance with the law. News highlights: retired Army Lieutenant General and current political counselor Ji Liancheng served as the general coordinator of the Matayan flood disaster in Hualien Guangfu Township, integrating military, local and civilian forces to direct disaster relief and recovery, including dredging roads, repairing water and electricity, and beachhead safety. News highlights: Shinkong Life Bishike T17 and T18 Superficial Rights held a groundbreaking ceremony today, causing legality disputes. Lin Weihun, general manager of Xinjiao, emphasized that everything is legal and compliant. The groundbreaking day is chosen according to custom, and the compensation is the responsibility of NVIDIA, which has nothing to do with the city government. Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanan said that he will continue to coordinate to ensure that the procedures are legal and facilitate the smooth entry of NVIDIA. News highlights: near Nanjing Sanmin MRT station in Songshan District, Taipei City, a 59-year-old man surnamed Su smoked superglue, exposed his lower body, and tried to forcibly pull a woman in her 20s into a dark alley late at night on the 14th to sexually assault her, but was stopped by passers-by and riders. Su Nan was arrested by the police and transferred to the Beijing prosecutor's office, but the judge found that his crime was up to 3 years in prison, ruled that he should be returned without bail, and required him to report to the police station every week. The incident aroused high vigilance among residents and schools, and strengthened safety reminders. News highlights TSMC, 2,330, hit a record high of 1,485 yuan on October 15, with third-quarter revenue of about 9,899 billion yuan, net profit after tax of 4,523 billion yuan, earnings per share of 17.44 yuan, and gross profit margin of 59.5%. Advanced processes in high-performance computing boosted performance, with 5nm accounting for 37%, 3nm accelerating volume, and strong demand for AI chips, with annual revenue expected to increase by nearly 30% year-on-year. News highlights Spot, a 5-year-old startup that has built an AI cloud media database, AI Film Room, with a small team of 5 people, provides automatic editing, speech-to-text and video management services, and has entered the Chinese professional baseball, PLG, Mirror TV, Japan, and Southeast Asian markets, and has been selected as a Real Madrid accelerator, emphasizing deepening each customer rather than blindly expanding to improve the efficiency of media and sports events. News highlights the latest research shows that on average, job seekers in the technology industry are willing to give up 25% of their salary in exchange for partial or full remote work, highlighting that flexibility has become an important benefit. In fact, the salary of remote positions is slightly higher by 1.1%, and companies should view remote work as a benefit to attract talent, rather than simply reducing salaries.